this is Jolie Odell. Thank you so much for listening once again to What to Think, the podcast brought to you by VentureBeat with generous sponsorship from New Relic. Usually my co-host is Dylan Tweeney, editor-in-chief of VentureBeat.com internet website, but instead he's taking his kids, his two bickering children, to Disneyland today. So we have the indescribably wonderful Jordan Novet, our big data reporter, here to sit in Dylan's seat and do a bang-up job.
Well, I kind of wish that I was going to Disneyland with Dylan so that I could see all of the technologies where they track people, because I haven't been there. I've just heard about it.
But what about DataBeat? I thought that was the greatest show on earth. For those of you who are not familiar, VentureBeat's big data conference, DataBeat, happened this week, and we had a ball. We had an absolute ball because if you haven't noticed, big data and business intelligence startups have been getting crazy funding lately, just all over the place, kind of in the way that developer tools were getting funded this time last year and the year before that. So let me ask you, Jordan, what were some of your favorite uses of big data technology from DataBeat? I go back and forth. Well, data's a person to me.
Really?
Lieutenant Commander Data.
Oh, wow.
Of the USS Enterprise.
We are Star Trek nerds at VentureBeat. We go back and forth with things like this.
Let's call him DataBeat.
Well, you can call it all you want,
okay.
But I'm going to
Well, what are your
DataBeat.
favorite tech? What was your favorite tech from DataBeat?
Got it. Well, whatever. Despite how you pronounce the word data, I am going to tell you that we had a company come out of stealth. At one point, they said they were in stealth for like 4 years, coming up with a way to get lots of data sets together in one place for a big company in two ways. One is automatically. It sees the kinds of joins you've done with tables before. This is the machine learning part, the big data part. And then also, I should back up actually and say, this is good for like 90 or 70% of the time. When it comes to integrating or curating different kinds of data, you can usually do it automatically. But then the other part is like this crowdsourcing thing, kind of like LinkedIn, and you find all the people that you know at a given company. And it says, oh, we think that Joe Schmo in marketing actually knows a lot about that data set, and he'll be able to figure out if this is the correct alignment of columns.
Oh, so it's kind of like an automated, what's it called? Automatic Turk? What's it called? Turk?
That's a little different.
Mechanical Turk?
Mechanical Turk. That's from Amazon.
That's different.
Yeah, it's sort of like it.
But it's like it takes the human intelligence and combines it with the machine learning to make a system that is as flawed as humans and as efficient as machines.
Well, people are really excited about this kind of thing. It's called Tamer, Tamr, and it comes from two people who are highly regarded, basically, in data management technology. One is the father of the Postgres and Ingress databases, Michael Stonebreaker.
He's a big deal.
He is, along with Andy Palmer. The two of them were among the co-founders of Vertica, which HP bought for a bunch of money a few years back, and is doing well for HP still. And so people think that Tamer has pretty good prospects for helping companies spend less time as they get lots of different kinds of data together before they can even move on to use those cool business intelligence tools.
The other thing I thought that was really, really cool about DataBeat was actually the DataBeat theme song.
Oh.
That you wrote.
Uh-huh.
Just so excited about this conference you're producing. Mm-hmm. And you wrote the DataBeat theme song over the weekend.
Yes, I did.
What were you jacked up on at this time?
Coffee, mainly.
Coffee and
I was writing stories.
Sheer enthusiasm for the technology.
Yes. And actually, as native of Queens, New York, I know the theme song or cheer for the Mets, the New York Mets baseball team, for people who don't know what I mean when I say Mets, gosh darn it. And I am going to give you guys a little bit of a sample of this song.
Break us off a piece of your magic, your song stylings.
Here we go.
Okay.
DataBeat, DataBeat. We're gonna have fun at DataBeat. Bring your colleagues, don't think twice. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the data's really no longer small. filling those hard drives, haul after haul. East Coast, West Coast, oracles are falling down. Can't handle DATA writes like Hadoop can. Oh, the VPs and CEOs and the data scientists, where do they go? To DataBeat! Oh, they're commenting, they're reading as they follow VentureBeat. Where do they go? To DataBeat! All tech people are true to the black and the red, so don't hold back and come downtown. 'Cause we've got ourselves a data event, DataBeat of SF Town. Give them a like! Give them a fave! And let them know you're following the posts. Come down to DataBeat. DataBeat.
Okay, I'm cutting you off, but that song is a masterwork.
Thank you.
We need more theme songs for our events. We should really open with musical numbers.
I won't be doing one for MobileBeat. You can ask Devindra, but I definitely can perform this next time at DataBeat. Looking forward to it.
You will. We all will. It'll be like the SNL opening numbers. Okay, so that was not ridiculous, but invigorating. You know what else is invigorating?
I can't wait to hear what
Let's
you're about
hear
to say.
this segue. The possibilities for technologies like Oculus Rift, virtual realities. Now, if you've never heard of Oculus Rift, it's this dork helmet that straps onto your face so that you can have an immersive overlay of people and things and games and whatever with amazing depth of field.
It's 3D.
It is 3D. So if you've not tried this out, you can go to Chuck E. Cheese. God help you. You can go to Chuck E. Cheese and try it out because they've got a new Chuck E. Cheese Oculus Rift game. Now, Facebook bought Oculus Rift, the company, for $1 I don't know how much did they pay for that technology? Does anyone know?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Well, it's not super relevant. That's just the money side of it. The cool part is the technology, actually, I think. But maybe Chuck E. Cheese isn't the very best, coolest way.
I thought there were a lot of business applications and like defense industry applications. I wrote about this one where there was a tank from some European country that was looking at how to figure out the best way to navigate a tank, an armored vehicle, when there's gunfire. And so it put a camera on the front, the back, the left, and the right, and it stitched together images from those 4 cameras to provide a 3D experience. So the driver of the tank can sit inside the tank and not have to poke their head out when they drive, and it's safer. But I think there's something that's way more exciting that you're about to tell us about, Jolie.
Oh my God. So I'm just going to read the headline.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We worked hard on the headline.
Strap on your Oculus Rift and get ready. Interactive porn is coming. That's 2 porn puns in one headline. So yeah, this is dirty. Some adult entertainment entity,
Sugar DVD,
there you go, has created an adult entertainment application for Oculus Rift.
streaming porn.
And it's interactive, apparently. Now, let's just put that off to the side. This is a family show. God, I hope children aren't listening to big data stories. That would just warp their little minds, make them into spreadsheet jockeys by the age of 12.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, I know. I love spreadsheets.
Everyone's going to be working with data.
But so let's go from spreadsheets to adult entertainment.
Fine. Okay.
I'm capable of making that shift.
Now, why do you think this is so crazy?
Well, I think that it's kind of a wild west in the way that Google Glass is. There was a Google Glass pornography application not too long ago as well.
How did it work? Porn video?
Yeah, well, I mean, it just streams the stuff in front of your face. I don't even.
So you're just
I can't even.
Looking at.
Yeah,
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, I can't either. So the thing I think is interesting about this is that these different technologies are going to have to be regulated a little bit because companies like Google and Facebook, which are family companies, are going to be controlling the developer kits and the APIs for these things and probably creating application stores for these devices. So I'm not thinking that porn on Oculus Rift is going to be a long-lived phenomenon. And as a sex-positive person, I'm not sure that's a good thing. Maybe some age verification should go into it, but why not? It sounds like fun to me.
Isn't there like a lot of money though in porn?
I've heard.
Doesn't Facebook want to make a lot of money? I'm being like the devil's advocate here. And by devil, I mean dirty devil.
Right. I don't think that Facebook would want its investors to know that its money is coming from the adult entertainment industry.
It would be very good for the economic downturn that eventually will sweep over this valley.
Yes, you can always fall back on porn, Jordan.
Well,
in life, in relationship disasters, in economic crises, porn is there for you.
And now you can get it on the Oculus Rift. Thank goodness.
Poor New Relic. They're going to listen to this in the morning and think, dear God, these people, why are we sponsoring this podcast? So,
because we know all the latest technology right here. No one else would know it if we hadn't written about this.
So by way of apology, I would also like to make a quick thank you to our host and sponsor, New Relic. This is a software analytics company that makes sense of billions of metrics across millions of web and mobile apps. New Relic helps the people who build modern software understand the stories their data is trying to tell them. When software breaks, everyone loses. New Relic helps improve the performance and reliability of your software to give your users a better experience and your business more success. So that is the story with New Relic. Now, we are going to welcome our very special guest, Mr. Gregory Ferenstein, formerly of TechCrunch, currently of VentureBeat, our political correspondent who's been following this NSA mess very closely. Thank you so much, Greg, for being willing to participate in the shenanigans that is What to Think, our podcast. How are you today?
I'm doing great. It's sunny.
It's often sunny in the Mission.
Yeah, it is kind of sunny in the Mission, but it's particularly sunny today, and so I'm getting my daily dose of vitamin D.
Great. That's great. I'm jealous.
You know, my doctor actually had to call me on the phone the other day to tell me that my vitamin D deficiency was so severe that I had to take double the normal amount of vitamin D. I'm basically a vampire. So sunny in San Francisco is a very good thing. What's not a good thing, I'm getting great at these segues, by the way. What's not a great thing is Congress basically poo-pooing any chance we have of backing the NSA into a bit of a corner for the sake of consumer citizen privacy. What is going on with Congress right now, Greg? You would know.
Well, they're just not doing a whole lot. And when you think of all the things that they should be doing, like immigration reform, balancing a budget, making sure that the largest spy agency in the world isn't listening to your phone calls, they're just not really good at dealing with things generally. And that came to a head last night when the one hope we had for surveillance reform basically died.
What was that hope? What was being proposed?
It was the delightfully labeled USA Freedom Act, which is all about freedom. So anyone who opposes it is against freedom.
Right. What did it say?
Like the Patriot Act. So anyone who opposes it is not a patriot.
When I retire one day, I just want to make up laws. As names for laws. Like, this is the Happiness Act. Who's anti-happiness?
And who's anti those little girls who get legislation named after them? I can't think of any right now. But there's...
Like the Anti-Adorable Cat Act.
There you go.
Usually it's like Kia's bill or something like that. And it's out there to protect young girls from whatever danger is.
Yes, big bad wolves. So yeah, what exactly were the stipulations of the Freedom Act?
So the USA Freedom Act, according to the Electronic Frontier Foundation, which is one of the more popular civil liberties organizations, it was to end the controversial part of the NSA spying program, which is bulk collection of metadata, who you're calling when you call them. And then last night, that got watered down in committee, as most things do in committees, and they added in a whole bunch of squishy language, like, the NSA may be able to determine what kind of device it looks at, or instead of saying what they can and cannot do, they added language as cannot do things such as. And this allows them a lot of wiggle room, enough so that the EFF withdrew its support from basically the one bill that they had hoped for.
I actually have a hard time imagining that even if a bill were to go through, it would prohibit other surveillance, spying, whatever you want to call it, from happening. I am not really that surprised to see that it got shot down. And I actually don't expect that if there is another bill that happens next year or anything like that to actually completely satisfy the EFF or any other, the ACLU, whatever it might be. I mean, am I crazy to think that, so caustically?
Well, I mean, I don't want to call you crazy.
Thanks. Keep going.
You crazy girl.
I mean, are there steps you can take to limit mass surveillance? Yeah, the big one proposed by President Obama's privacy task force was to put the bulk data in the telephone companies' hands. So that is, they would still kind of mass vacuum it all in, but that it wouldn't be in a government-owned database. They would have to request it individually from the phone companies.
But wouldn't it be possible still for you to peer with any of those phone companies and basically have a backdoor into it? People were thinking that a lot of colo facilities last year were the places where the biggest telcos basically were allowing for communications to be siphoned off for intelligence agencies to get at.
Oh, this is all a possibility. In the realm of paranoia, go nuts.
Okay, I'm still going nuts. I'm crazy.
Well, you're not crazy. It's just we don't really know what's going to go on in the future, and your level of paranoia will dictate what you think is going to happen because we're in the land of unknown.
So, what's the big outcome of it now? Or is the EFF and the ACLU and any other civil liberties group just going to whine and say it's there's
whine?
What are they going to do? What's going to happen? What's going to happen now?
The short answer is Congress will continue to do nothing.
Okay. So we have to find other things.
And you can just record that little bit of what I said and play it over and over again in all future podcasts for the next year.
Okay.
That's this year, though. How about years to come?
Well,
what's the ghost of Congress future have to say?
There is a high probability that I should license that phrase for many years to come if I want to make money.
So basically nothing's going to change for the next several years, and the NSA will continue to spy as it wishes in whole new ways all the time.
There's a 50-50 shot of that actually happening because Congress is getting less productive over time. Because partisanship is increasing for a variety of reasons. This was the one big thing that Congress was supposed to do at the beginning of the year. Now they were going to try to do a small portion of it in the summer, and that just died last night. And so next year we'll start to be moving into the 2-year run-up to the presidential cycle, and so not a lot gets done then either. So it could be a while. Not to be negative Nancy about things.
No, in the meantime, I am going to work on my tinfoil hat crafting skills, also my crossbow and cabin building skills. I am heading to the mountains.
You could also use Oculus Rift to stream porn.
In the mountains?
Maybe.
Yeah. With Facebook spying on me and selling me porn ads. This has been another edition of What to Think with Jolie and absent Dylan, present Jordan.
And Greg.
I was getting to that part. Thank you, Greg, for joining us.
It was lovely talking to you today.
Virtual high five. And thank you, dear listeners, for joining us once again. We will talk to you next week on What to Think.